Big John here. Welcome back to another Commander video. Today's video is another Golos. I said that I would do another Golos Commander deck soon on the channel. In my last video, my Minecraft video, that was uploaded for me yesterday, dependent on whenever I actually get to upload this will be however long, so I could upload this in a week and it'll be a week prior. But yeah, we're starting out with Golos, I'm not going to explain Golos himself, because I explained what he did in the last Golos video. This time it is a lot different than it was last time. The person in the comment section in the last Golos video told me I need to work out my X drops, and telling you now, I did by taking them all out, and I believe I have one X drop in the deck. But hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more. Get that out of the way. These are going to be done at the end of the video, but I got 3 Japanese cards in the deck, so I'll explain them at the end of the video. So I'm doing them last. So we're going to kick it off with Oketra the True. She's a 4-drop legendary god with double strike and indestructible. Oketra can't attack or block unless you control at least 3 other creatures. You can pay 1 white and 3 other and create a 1/1 white warrior creature token with vigilance. I'm probably going to take her out soon. She doesn't really help that much. She's probably going to go in the Aurelia deck, which put a link to it and the old Golos video down in the description. She'll probably go in the Aurelia deck by the end of it. Next, I run Kefnet the Mindful. He's a 3-drop legendary god, flying indestructible. Kefnet the Mindful can't attack or block unless you have 7 or more cards in hand. Pay 1 blue, 3 other, draw a card, then you may return a land you control to your hand. Just a good. He's in here, and he's in here to stay. He's a good turn 2 if you turn 1 Soul Ring. Turn 2. It's a good card. Next, I run Nezahal, Primal Tide. 7-drop legendary Elder Dinosaur. Can't be countered. You have no max hand size. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, draw a card, discard 3 cards, exile it, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. This is in there for no max hand size and the extra draw. He's actually really good. Next, I run Itali Primal Storm, legendary Elder Dino. 6-drop. Whenever Itali Primal Storm attacks, exile the top card of each player's library. Then you may cast any number of non-land cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. It's just a fun card. This is the last legendary creature that's not in Japanese. Keranos, God of Storms, legendary enchantment creature, god. 5-drop indestructible. As long as your devotion to blue and red is less than 7, Keranos is not a creature. Reveal the first card you draw on each of your turns. Whenever you reveal a land card this way, draw a card. Whenever you reveal a non-land card this way, it deals 3 damage to any target. He's just good as well. He's a great Izzet commander. I apologize for the background noise. My dogs are outside. Next, I run Spark Double. This is starting the regular creatures. It's a 4-drop illusion. You may have Spark Double enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature or planeswalker you control, except it enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it if it's a creature, or it enters with an additional loyalty counter on it if it's a planeswalker. If it isn't legendary, if that permanent is legendary. This is a really good way to do some fun stuff. Next, I run Cavalier of Gales, 5-drop flying with 5/5 5-drop 5/5 for flying. Enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards and put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. Whenever Cavalier of Gales dies, shuffle it to Insurance Library and scry 2. It's a good card. Next, I run Elvish Reclaimer. It's a 1-drop, 1/2. It gets +2/+2 as long as there are 3 or more land cards in your graveyard. Pay 2, tap it, sacrifice a land. Search your library for a land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, and shuffle your library. This is really good in Golos. It allows you to get your lands quicker. Next, I run. This is another card I think I'm going to take out, but I'm not quite too sure. I'm running Hero's Bane. 5-drop, 0/0. Enters the battlefield with 4 +1/+1 counters on it. Pay 2 green and 2. Put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is its power. It's a decent card. It's a decent Hydra. Next I run Seedborn Muse. 5-drop, 2/4. Untap all permanents you control during each other player's untap step. This is just an amazing card in general. Next I run Tamio's Journal. 5-drop artifact, legendary artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, investigate. So you make a colorless clue artifact token with 2. Sacrifice this artifact, draw a card. And its mana ability is tap, sacrifice 3 clues, search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, shuffle your library. This is a really good card in Golos as well. Just to get the cards you need really quick. Next I run Bolas' Citadel. 6-drop legendary artifact. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may play the top card of your library. If you cast a spell this way, pay like equal to its converted mana cost. Here, converted mana cost rather than pay its mana cost. Tap it, sacrifice 10 non-land permanents. Each opponent loses 10 life. It's in there just so I can get the top card of my library quicker. Next, I run Spellbook. It's a 0-drop artifact. Skip your discard phase so you have no max hand size. It's also really good in a deck like this. Soul Ring, 1-drop, tap to add 2 colorless mana to your mana pool. Just a good mana rock. Mystic Forge. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast the top card of your library if it's an artifact card or a colorless non-land card. Tap it, pay 1 life, exile the top card of your library. This is just a good card to look at the top, do some fun stuff. Get rid of it if you don't want it on the top. Next turn, Teferi's Puzzle Box, 4-drop artifact. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player puts the cards in his or her hand on the bottom of his or her library in any order, then draws that many cards. There's a combo in this deck that locks your opponents out of a draw or out of a hand, and I'll explain it to you later. But next I run Thran Dynamo, the 4-drop tap, add 3 colorless mana. It's another good, really good mana rock. Next I run Vidalcan Ori, 4-drop artifact. You may cast non-land cards as though they had flash. It's really good. Next I run Gilded Lotus, the 5-drop artifact. Tap, add 3 mana of any color to your mana pool, or of any one color to your mana pool. It's another good mana rock. Next I run Witchclaw Talisman, 2-drop artifact. Whenever it enters the battlefield with 3 witch counters on it. Pay 1, tap it, remove a witch counter from Witchclaw Talisman. Search your library for a card, put that card in your hand, then shuffle your library. As an opponent gains control of Witchclaw Talisman, activate its ability only during your turn. It's another good tutor, except it gives your opponent the ability to also tutor. Next I run Oath of Teferi, 5-drop legendary enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, exile another target permanent you control. Return it to the battlefield under your control to begin the next instep. You may activate the loyalty abilities of planeswalkers you control twice each turn rather than only once. It's a good card when you're running 15, 16 planeswalkers. Next I run Smothering Tithe, 4-drop enchantment. Whenever an opponent draws a card, that player may pay 2. If the player doesn't, you create a treasure token with tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color. It's a good card as well. Next I run Mirror Maid, 3-drop enchantment. You may have it enters a copy of any artifact or enchantment on the battlefield. This is also a really good card. It goes great with Smothering Tithe. Next I run Mind Unbound, 6-drop enchantment. Beginning of your upkeep, put a lore counter on it, and then draw a card for each lore counter on it. It's really good as well for drawing, except I haven't done much with it in the time I've had it in the deck. Next I run Well of Ideas, 6-drop enchantment. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you draw 2 cards. At the beginning of each other player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. At the beginning of your draw step, draw 2 additional cards. This is another really good draw card. and it works really, 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 really well with Smothering Tithe. Next, I run Swarm Intelligence. 7-drop enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, you may copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. That's a really, really good spell in this deck as well. Next, I run Omniscience. It's a 10-drop enchantment. You may cast spells from your hand without paying their mana costs. You know, just like, you know, play everything. It's a great card as well. Next, I run Revel in Riches. 5-drop enchantment. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, create a colorless treasure token. I already explained that. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 10 or more treasures, you win the game. This goes really well with Smothering Tithe as well. Next, this is the last enchantment. I run Zendikar Resurgent. 7-drop enchantment. Whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana to your mana pool of any type that land produced. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. This one's really good in Golos because it allows you to get Golos' ability off a lot more. And it really helps for the X drop that's in the deck. We're moving on to the Planeswalkers. There's a good few of them. There's 2 Japanese ones. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's 13 Planeswalkers in the deck. First Planeswalker is Ugin the Inevitable. 6-drop. Starts at 4. Colorless spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. +1, exile top card of the library face down and look at it. Create a 2/2 colorless spirit creature token. When that token leaves the battlefield, put the exiled card into your hand. -3, destroy target permanent that's 1 or more colors. This is just a really good card to get rid of a lot of things. Next, we're going to Johnny Strength of the Pride. 4-drop, starts at 5, +1. You gain life equal to the number of creatures you control plus the number of planeswalkers you control. -2, create a 2/2 white cat soldier creature token named a Johnny's Pride Maid. With whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on a Johnny's Pride Maid. And then 0, if you have at least 15 or more life, 15 life more than your starting life total, exile Johnny Strength of the Pride and each artifact and creature your opponents control. He's in here mostly for the +1 ability, but I mean, be helpful. Next is Jace Beleren. 3-drop, starts at 3. +2, each player draws a card. -1, target player draws a card. -10, target player puts the top 20 cards his or her library into his or her graveyard. He's really good for drawing and winning because of the -10. Next round, Narset, Parter of Veils. 3-drop, starts at 5. Each opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn. -2, look at the top 4 cards of your library and may reveal a non-creature, non-land card from among them. Put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. She's good with Teferi's Puzzle Box. That's the combo. You need that with Teferi's Puzzle Box. So then they draw. They put all the cards in their hand at the bottom. Then they don't draw anymore because they can only draw 1 card a turn. Next, we're in Jace Wielder of Mysteries. 4-drop, starts at 4. If you would draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. Target player +1, target player puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into their graveyard. Then you draw a card. -8, draw 7 cards. Then if your library has no cards in it, you win the game. This is also a really good. That's like the main win con of the deck. Next, I run Chandra, Acolyte of Flame. 3-drop, starts at 4. 0, put a loyalty counter on each red planeswalker you control. 0, create 2 1/1 red elemental creature tokens. They gain haste. Sacrifice them at the beginning of your next end step. -2, you may cast target instant or sorcery card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard. If that card will be put into your graveyard this turn, exile it instead. This is really good because when you're casting a bunch of crap real quick, it'll allow you to just get all that crap back. Next, I run the Royal Scions. 3-drop, starts at 5. +1, draw a card, then discard a card. +1, target creature gets +2, +7, gains first strike and trample until the end of turn. -8, draw 4 cards. When you do, the Royal Scions deals damage to any target equal to the number of cards in your hand. It's another good draw card, or draw junky thing. It's great. Next one, Tameo, Collector of Tales. 4-drop, starts at 5. Spells and abilities your opponents control can't cause you to discard or sacrifice permanents. +1, choose a non-land card name, then reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all cards with the chosen name from among them into your hand and the rest in your graveyard. -3, return target card from your graveyard to the back to your hand. This is a really good card, especially when people blow up like Omniscience or something. Because it's like, okay, so they blew up Omniscience. What am I supposed to do? Then you realize Tameo's on the field. Okay, I'm -3 Tameo. Return Omniscience to hand. Next turn, cast Omniscience. Because most of the time in this deck, you'll have so much other stuff that they need to worry about before they need to worry about Omniscience, and they'll probably forget about Omniscience by the time you're going to cast it again. So, next to run Nicol Bolas Dragon God. 5-drop starts at 4. Nicol Bolas Dragon God has all loyalty abilities and all other planeswalker abilities has all other planeswalker loyalty abilities on the battlefield. +1, you draw a card. Each opponent exiles a card from their hand or a permanent they control. -3, destroy target creature or planeswalker. -8, each opponent who doesn't control a legendary creature or a planeswalker loses the game. This is a really, 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 really good card in this deck. Next I run Izzet Viceroy. 5-drop starts at 5. +1, look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand, the other in the graveyard. -3, it deals damage to target creature equal the total number of instant sorcery cards you own in exile and in your graveyard. Oh, that's actually really good. I didn't read that. -8, you get an emblem with whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, this emblem deals 4 damage to any target and you draw 4 cards. I've never gotten his emblem off because I always forget about it. But that's really good. Sorin Grim Nemesis is the last planeswalker that's English that I'm going to show right now. 6-drop starts at 6. +1, reveal the top card of your library. Then put that card in your hand. Each opponent loses life equal to the converted mana cost to that card. -X, Sorin Grim Nemesis deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker, and you gain X life. -9, put a number of 1/1 Black Vampire Knight creature tokens with a lifelink onto the battlefield equal to the highest life total among all players. This is really good with the Johnny. His ultimate is really good with the Johnny. Moving into the instants. Almost done. This is going on for not even 18 minutes. I'm almost done here. Starting it off with Teferi's Time Twist. 2-drop instant. Exile target permanent you control. Return that card to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of the next end step. If it enters the battlefield as a creature, it enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. It's really good to... It was originally in here with an infinite combo that was super, super slow, that allowed you to get an infinite number of... That allowed you to basically get, 1, an infinite number of counter spells, 2, an infinite number of really anything. It also allows me to get... it would have allowed me to get an infinite number of copies of cards on the field. So it's pretty cool. Next, an Archmage's Charm, 3-drop counter. It's a 3-drop instant. You choose one of the 3 abilities: counter target spell, target player draws 2 cards, or gain control of target non-land permanent with converted mana cost 1 or less. It's in here mostly for the counter spell and draw. Next turn, Cancel, 3-drop counterspell. Next turn, Sinister Sabotage, 3-drop counterspell with Surveil 1. Next turn, Thought Collapse, 3-drop counterspell, and the spell's controller mills 3, plus top 3 in the cards of your library in their graveyard. Next turn, Unwind, 3-drop counter target non-creature spell, and untap up to 3 lands. Next turn, 4-drop Insidious Will. You choose one of the 3 abilities, counter target spell. You may choose new targets for the target spell. You may choose new targets for a target spell, or choose copy target instant sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Next turn, Overwhelming Denial, 4-drop counter spell that can't be countered, or Surge for 2, which is if you or a teammate you control, if you or a teammate cast a spell this turn, you may cast that for its Surge cost. Next turn, Summon Dismissal, 4-drop, exile all other spells and counter all other abilities. And then finally, I run Commence the Endgame, 6-drop instant, can't be countered, draw 2 cards, then amass X, where X is the total number of cards in your hand, and you make a 0/0 with X +1/+1 counters on it. Moving on to the sorceries, and there's not very many of them, so we're going to get done quick. Quicker than I figured. Starting it off with Karn's Temporal Sundering, 6-drop legendary sorcery. You can only cast legendary sorceries if you control a legendary creature or planeswalker. Target player takes an extra turn after this one. Return up to one target non-land permanent and opponent to its owner's hand. Exile cards Temporal Centering. This card's really good. Really, really good. Next, I run Clear the Mind. 3-drop sorcery. Target player shuffles their graveyard into the library, and then you draw a card. Next, I run Fabricate. 3-drop sorcery. Search your library for an artifact card. Reveal it. Put it in your hand. Shuffle your library. 2 cards in here? Nope. Felt like there was 2 cards in there. Next, this is the X drop of the deck. I run Finale of Revelation. 2X sorcery. Draw X cards if X is 10 or more. Instead, shuffle your graveyard into your library. Draw X cards up to 5 lands, and you have no max hand size for the rest of the game. And then exile Finale of Revelation. That's a really good card as well. Next are in Quasi-Duplicate. 3-drop, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control with Jump Start, so you can cast it again from your graveyard, but then it gets exiled after you discard a card. Next, I run Ugin's Insight. 5-drop, sorcery, scry X, where X is the highest converted mana cost among permanents you control, then draw 3 cards. When you cast this, the X should be 10. It should be, but if not, it's whatever. Next is the last sorcery. I run Game Plan. 6-drop with Assist. Another player can pay up to 5 of this spell's cost, so you don't have to pay the entire cost. Each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into their library, then draws 7 cards, then you exile Game Plan. That's really, really, really good as well. Moving on to the non-basic lands, I run Urza's Mine, Urza's Tower, and Urza's Power Plant. If you have all 3 of them on the field, they all consecutively tap for 7 colorless mana. Next, I run Swiftwater Cliffs. It enters tapped. And when it enters, you gain 1 life, and it taps for blue or red. Next, I run Temple of Triumph. When it enters battlefield, it enters tapped. When it enters, it scries 1, and it taps for red or colorless. This one is Temple of Epiphany. It also enters tapped and scries you 1, and it taps for red or blue. Temple of Mystery, same thing, except it taps for green or blue. And Temple of Malady enters tapped, scry 1, tap for green or black. Now, I'm trying to get all 10 temples of each, or the temples of each 2 color combos, and then I'm going to try my best to get the Guild Gates and Mazes in, maybe in here, to do that win con, because it's like the easiest way to win. But, I don't know. Oh my god, my dogs are being stupid. But next I run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let me recount that just in case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I run 11 planes. And it's actually kind of bugging me that I have 5 foil planes and 5 non-foil, and then the unstable one. But it's whatever. I run 11 planes. And I run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I run 12 islands. This one is very, very close to being making me happy, because there's only 2 non-foil ones. The rest of them are foil or unstable. Next I run, I think 2 swamps. Yeah, 2 swamps. Then I run 4 mountains and 2 forests. That's all for the deck that I'm showing right now, but now I gotta pause so I can go show you the Japanese cards. So I'll be right back. Alright, so first we got Godinal Kefnet, legendary creature, God 4/4. You may reveal a card you draw it whenever you reveal an instant sorcery spell. This way, copy it, and you miss the copy. The copy costs 2. Whenever it dies, put from the battlefield, put it on his library from the top. That first one. Give me 1. Alright, next is Teferi Traveler. 3-drop, starts at 4. Each opponent casts a spell only anytime they get sorcery. It's 1 until your next has sorcery, so they have -3. Or target a creature to its own hand card. Alright, this. Alright, Ral Conduit. Drop starts at 4. Whenever you cast instant sorcery, deals 1 damage to opponent or 2, scry 1, -2. When your next instant sorcery spell, this copy that spell, you may new copy. Alright, guys, that is it for this command video. If you like this video, please hit and subscribe. There's a future deck coming on my channel to video on it. Hope you I forward to that. I'm going to try to record 2 of the Minecraft video or Minecraft series. and with, and that should be. So I'll see you guys video. Bye.